everybody, it's Nolan.
I'm Ashley, hey.
Welcome to Lady in the Trans. So today, we are going to be putting this lovely girl on the spot. I'll ask her some questions and get her opinions on some of the things that she's noticed over the last year and so of our transition and over the last couple months with the testosterone shots and things like that. I'm going to get her point of view today now that I finally have her away from her job and everything else.
Yeah, I'm just chilling today.
Well, first of all, we wanted to kind of give a notice to some things. I know it's been kind of hectic, especially over the last week with all of the election results and things like that. We didn't want to add anything too political into this simply because we're trying to keep...
There's a lot of negativity out in social media right now.
That too.
And we're trying to prevent right now.
So what we wanted to do was to just simply ask for you to do one thing for us. Over the last week, there's been a situation that's been going on with safety pins. Anybody who's curious of why people are wearing a single safety pin on their shirt. We've decided we're going to take part in that movement. What it means is that if you see somebody with a safety pin on their shirt, that indicates that they are safe. They are safe to approach, which means that they are an ally, despite whatever they belong to. So what we ask of you guys... So what we've asked of you guys is to go ahead and wear one for the next week, next month, however long you feel. What this is going to do is basically make the biggest silent statement. You guys want unity? Do it. It's going to make the silent statement saying that to anybody around you, that you are safe to approach. You are somebody that is an ally for us. You will be there for us to protect us, and it allows us to know that there won't be any hate or dishonor or anything like that among you or anybody else. So please, take forward in the silent movement and simply just wear a safety pin on your shirt. Be kind, be respectful. Now that we've got that out of the way, we want you guys to take part of that. We're going to ask this lovely little lady some questions. Are you ready? You ready to ask some questions?
I'm nervous, honestly. But
she's nervous,
ready.
but that's okay. Kind of want to give you guys a little backstory. It's been a year since I came out. November of last year was when I finally told her my lovely little secret. Unfortunately, it was 2 months after we got married. We have been married
for a year now.
Oh my god!
And 2 months.
2 months, yeah. We got married in September, and 2 months later I came out. Unfortunately, that was the only sad part, is that I waited until after we got married. But she knew. There was questions all throughout the years.
What hurt the most is just when I really felt that he was transgendered. He lied to my face and said, no, I'm perfect the way I am. So I felt like I didn't really know the real Nolen.
And unfortunately, that was some of my responsibility. And it wasn't just her. It was simply the fact of the kind of family that I have, who are very, very Christian-y. The fact that we do live in what we would call a Bible Belt state. And along a lot of other things that were going on, it's kind of hard to be truthful to yourself when you don't even know how to explain it to yourself, let alone anybody else. But for over the year, we have been working slowly on repairing all of that, and we've done quite well. It did put a struggle on our relationship, but it's a learning process on how to completely be truthful and honest and loyal and respectful and all of those crazy things that make a relationship. So over the year, like I said, it was hard, but at the same time, it did make us stronger. It grew us to be closer. So my only thing for you guys is don't lie. Don't be dishonest. Please be truthful, because in the end, it makes up all of the difference rather than trying to fix the pain that you cause from being dishonest.
Honesty is key.
Honesty is key. And communication is too. So now, Ashley, over the year, it's been a year. How has your perspective and your mind changed from when I first told you till now?
Honestly, a year ago, I didn't think that we would be here right now. That you would already be on T, almost 3 months in, your voice getting deeper. I just felt like once you came out as transgendered, it was just fast forward.
It's fast forward, but
yeah.
Honestly, I never thought that it would happen as fast as it did either. However, it didn't happen as fast as some people expect it to. So, there is that kind of difference of it all. I took my time and found me a therapist, and worked on a lot more than just coming out as transgendered, but along with, I suffered from a lot of anger issues, a lot of depression issues growing up in a single family household. There was a lot of mental issues other than just being transgender that I was going through. So I did focus on finding a therapist that would definitely help me get through all of that first, so I could go into my transition in a healthier mindset. It also helped me work on my marriage with you and everything like that. So I definitely
finding a therapist is your number one goal when you first come out.
It is the
finding
best option.
Someone to talk to that doesn't have a biased opinion about your life, that's basically there for you, is your number one goal.
It's not finding a therapist that just helps you out or that's just going to get you the shots. It's a therapist that is going to challenge your mindset and not be biased towards you on what you are doing. I know there are a few therapists out there that give you every reason to question and make you feel like they're just not trying to help you. It's not that they're not trying to help you. It's that they're trying to make sure that you understand what you're going to do to your body, as well as they're trying to understand why you're trying to do it to your body.
It's a big change.
It is. You are physically changing yourself, and there are some things that you can't take back once you do it. So finding a therapist is your number one key. I'm very blessed to have a very, very wonderful therapist who she stands for the LGBTQ community. She is one of, what she says is she's our big sister, so she's a very big ally for us. Yes, my therapist is a female. I chose to find a female therapist simply because of my perspective. Women listen a little bit better in these kind of situations. Men are a little bit more biased, and so I got blessed to actually find not only a woman that listens, but somebody who actually takes in consideration of my thoughts and my feelings and wants to work on me as a person rather than just trying to change me or anything like that. So that is your number one key. Definitely find a therapist that won't just hand you a shot thing or permission to go get one, but that will sit there and listen to you and not be biased towards you or make you feel uncomfortable about these kind of situations. It's about the questions that they ask. You can really definitely tell based on the questions that they ask you. And unfortunately, she's never asked me anything inappropriate. She's just trying to learn my perspective of things, and I definitely appreciate that. So guys, give your therapist a chance if you have one. If you don't, find one that cares. Find one that is willing to help you. And you can definitely tell if they're there for you to help you mentally or if they're just there to get your money. So number one key, find a therapist. Over the last couple of months, I know you know there have been physical changes. I know you know. She lets me know all the time. What physical changes have you noticed? What physical changes did you notice fairly quickly?
Oh my God.
Compared to what
your facial hair,
it's coming
it
fast.
Came really fast, and just the expansion of your chest, because I love to cuddle, and that was the first thing that I noticed, that I'm not as comfortable.
She says I'm hard now. I used to be a fluffy pillow, and now that I actually have biceps and I have muscles growing in,
it's
and
sexy. I love it. He's stronger than ever, and I'm just, oh my God, I don't even know what to do with myself. But it's definitely a change.
Muscles,
it's definitely a change.
It is a change, bodily, physically. Now you and I may differ on this. What is your perspective of my mood?
Okay, well, so T-Day falls on a Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, and usually around the weekends is when his mood gets the worst, when he's very, I don't want to say bipolar, but you can tell when he's very hot and cold, as in his emotions are basically jumping around. One minute he's just the happiest he can be, and the next, anything, if you forgot something, it will just mess up his whole entire mood. Or I don't know.
You forgot something, I'm gonna totally just rip your head off. No, I actually agree with that. I have noticed that the closer it gets to testosterone day, the day before, it's normally the day or two beforehand, my moods are definitely almost plummeted. It's not just the fact of like I'm it's basically my hormones are reiterating themselves and kind of going, okay, are you going to be on estrogen now, or are you going to be on testosterone now? So definitely I would agree that my mood swings do kind of fluctuate and balance depending on the situation, and they normally do kind of, the higher frustration and irritation comes closer to when it's basically time to take another shot. It's kind of like an energy drink. You take that energy drink, and for the first few days I'm just like, wow, I can do this, whoa, let's go. And then once that energy drink starts to decrease and you start to crash, you kind of get irritated, and you're just like, I want to do this anymore. I would say exercising has kind of helped me keep that momentum up. We have a workout room now. We don't even go to a gym. We just bought a few little workout equipment things from like Goodwill stores and stuff like that, and built our own little laundry room into a workout room as well. So I will say working out does relieve some of that pressure, that frustration, that irritation.
If you have a significant other, I highly recommend you both work out together. It is very
motivating.
Very.
Gives you a lot of confidence boost when it's not just you doing it. And when you have a friend or a significant other, it doesn't have to be just a significant other. If you have a friend, a roommate that you live with, or anything like that, work out together, because it gives you that kind of energy that you allow each other to feed off of, that kind of gets you going on something. It gets you a connection, and it gives you more courage and more confidence, saying, you know what, I can do this. I got so-and-so helping me out. For me, it's this beautiful woman. She sits there and motivates me, and like when I'm doing my push-ups, she'll be like, all right, one more, you got this. So it's all about motivation, and if you can find somebody or you have somebody, do it together, always. Teamwork. So what would you say is the biggest challenge now with me being transgender?
The biggest challenge is just society right now. What we're in right now.
That's a big challenge.
That's a big change.
It's always been a challenge.
It's always been a big challenge, especially being in a southern state where there's a lot of racial discrimination along with the LGBT. A lot of people are now coming out, showing their negativity, showing how they really feel. And so, yeah, it's scary to know that will we go to work separately? I don't want that phone call. And I know neither does he.
Yeah. Well, luckily we both have jobs that we actually have bosses and coworkers that they really don't judge us or critique us on who we are.
Very respectful.
They're very respectful. They adore every little piece of this. Some of these guys are actually following us on this page just to kind of be curious about what it is. Luckily, we got blessed with jobs now that we don't have to worry about any kind of discrimination. I actually found me a job where I don't have to work with the public anymore. Unfortunately, that was my biggest challenge for society. Definitely, I agree, society is a big challenge. That was my biggest challenge, is finding a job where I didn't have to deal with a bunch of, pardon my language, but idiotic, stupid people. Because people who don't know what you are or what you're going through, they tend to misuse your pronouns, and people that knew you from a past life, they tend to not know that you've changed your name or things like that. So for me, it was definitely...
Are the people that are just in doubt, that just refuse to accept that this is who you are, who have a scenario, or they just have this mindset that this is how you were and this is how you will always be.
It's predetermined bias, basically. So. Yeah, and that was my biggest thing. Was I was working as a retailer. I sold things to people. I was dealing with customers on a daily basis, and even after coming out as transgender, I was still being mislabeled and things like that. It didn't matter if I told them my name or not. They just looked at me funny, or I'd get this kind of slow comments, or the people who would basically say, well, I have nothing against you, but this is my belief. Well, that's where we run into our issues. Just because you believe that it's wrong doesn't give you the reason to basically pre-bias and judge me. Now I have a job where I don't deal with people. I clean cars. I detail cars. I deal with two wonderful, very great bosses that treat me with as much respect as they possibly can. And they even told me, everybody deserves a job, and they don't care what I choose to do. My boss, she actually thinks this is a very fun experiment for her. She gets to kind of see a transgender person from start to finish. So for her, this is the funnest thing in the world. She is like going crazy over it. So, and with her coworkers and friends, they absolutely love and adore her, and they don't want to lose her because she is a hard ass worker. So they're gonna be as nice as they possibly can to us. But yeah, society definitely is very challenging. We've just learned to kind of keep our backs closed, right, and our mouths closed. We just kind of try to let it roll off as much as possible.
Plus, we just keep to ourselves.
That's so. We don't have any friends, you know. We stay to ourselves. We work and come home.
Yeah, no lie.
So, what would you say that your biggest challenge would be being married to somebody who is going from a woman to a male? What would you find the biggest challenge personally you find with that?
I don't know. Like, I would say that it's still, my family is a number one challenge. They've always been a challenge throughout our relationship. And I'm very big on family. I really, really care about what they think. And I feel like maybe one day things will be great.
Obviously. They will.
Yeah.
Definitely family.
Yeah.
Family is a big challenge for the both of us. For hers, I completely threw her family off. I'm not even gonna lie. All of her family never expected me coming.
Never.
So here I am 5 years later. Yeah, but they're coming around. We've got a lot of great support from both family members. I definitely would say a big challenge is for them to accept this, especially with us for so long being viewed as one way, and then now it's like,
oh, by the way, just kidding. We're this couple now. So.
Would you say that dating a real man compared to dating me, what would you say the differences are?
The differences are with a trans male, they're more in sync with your emotions more. They have a different view. So, I mean, they know where you're coming from. They know exactly when it's the time of the month. Like, but, it's...
Besides genitals?
I didn't want to say
just
that.
Perspective?
I didn't want to say that. But it's just morally, there is an emotional difference between trans male. But, I mean, now ever since Nolen came out as transgender, that's all I've been researching, and I've seen a lot of different trans males that I didn't even know was a trans. So, I mean, it's...
Sometimes you never know. Sometimes you'll look at it and you'll be like, what? You are trans?
Wow. Yeah.
Dude,
and it's the
you
same
look like a
for
dude.
females
Dude,
as well.
You look like
trans
a girl.
females.
Well, that's the whole point, people. That's the whole point, is that we want to look like our gender that we coincide with. I definitely agree with her on the moral issues. It's basically because we can think on both sides of the perspective. We know what it's like to feel as a woman. We know what it's like to feel as a man. Vice versa for men that are turning into females. They know how to think like a man. They know how to think like a woman now. I will say that testosterone has definitely opened up a new perspective for me, personally. My likes, my dislikes, my way I view things is definitely... it's turning into what you would call more of a guyish way of thinking. But there definitely is a finesse of that female emotion there. It allows me... I think it's the greatest thing in the world to be a transgender person because it gives you both perspectives.
The best of both worlds.
It does. It allows you to view it on both sides. It allows you to see where a woman's coming from, but also where a man's coming from. It allows you to kind of get that balanced thinking. I think everybody just needs to have that, but for me personally, I definitely agree. It does give me that more emotional, moral standpoint of, okay, well, I understand that because you are a woman, this is where you're coming from. Let me explain to you why I'm coming from this way, because this is how I think as a man. Would you also say that, I said, not genitals. Genitals obviously are a reason. But would you say sexually there's a difference?
No.
No?
No. I mean, when you pick a sexual partner, I can't speak for everybody because, I mean, there are people with friends with benefits or in a lot of different sexual relationships. But when it comes down to having sex, I would rather have sex with a person that I am emotionally attached to. When you have an emotional bond, sex is different. And it doesn't matter if you have the right equipment or not.
Well said. All right. Well, I think I really just have one more question to ask you. Honestly.
What? What's the question?
Would you say that after a year of being married, after a year of transitioning, do you think that in the next year you're going to be more excited about my physical changes?
Oh, definitely.
Be more
like
nervous?
Already. I'm not nervous. I'm actually pretty ecstatic to see, like, we were supposed to have a doctor's appointment November 8th. Actual election day, but she canceled.
She was out of town.
And I was really wanting to talk to the doctor to see with the T shots, could he go up on the milligrams to see if that would create more faster progress. But we have to wait until January.
Yeah, I have to wait now. She only does new gender appointments every Tuesday, so... And she's booked till January 3rd. I was like, wow, I didn't even know there was a lot of people like that in my home state. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because it's already been 2 months, and the changes have come fairly quickly. Like she said, I've already got facial hair growing, and my voice is deepened, and my muscles are growing, and things like that, which some people have said that they don't even get that until month 4, month 5, month 6, so on and so forth.
Everybody is different.
Literally every body is different. For me, my doctor looked at me and gave me what she would call the generic dosage of a 23-year-old male. So 23-year-old healthy, nothing major against me. I don't have any major health issues or anything like that. So she went for the basic dose that she gives anybody, which is 0.5 cc's or 0.5 milliliters of testosterone every week. I do think going up would create more of a quicker approach. However, it could also affect the mood swings a lot quicker. I do notice a lot of people that have higher dosages, sometimes because it's higher, when they get closer to their T-date, it drops a lot faster. For me personally...
Well, that makes me kind of nervous.
but like you said, everybody is different. Everybody is different. So for those there are some that their testosterone, when they get a higher dose, it levels them out all the way until the next shot. Some people do it weekly, some people do it bi-weekly, some people do it monthly. I mean, it just kind of also depends on where you're taking it, how much you're taking it. For me, I am taking it weekly. So
in the thigh area.
Yeah, I have to take mine in the thigh. Mine you could do either in your rear or in your thigh. I chose to do the thigh simply because I can see it better. I can see what I'm doing. I'm very afraid of needles breaking off and things like that. I don't want to... Yeah, that's my fear. I'm like, I don't want a needle breaking off into my rear end. So, I kind of make sure that I can keep a very close eye on it. I will say every shot does get a little harder because my thighs are now turning from fat to muscle. So it's more and more... It's more and more muscle growing. So it does become a little bit more tender. What would you say, I guess I'm going to ask you this one. What would you say is very nerve-wracking, either when it comes to my shots? What do you think is the scariest part of it?
The scariest part, because I really am afraid of needles. I don't like needles at all. I have gave Nolen his shots.
I think she gave me my first one.
3 times after that. The first time I didn't get all of the testosterone in, so I had to give him another shot, and that just it freaks me out. And
Still had a lot of the testosterone leak come out. No, that was the first one. I think that was the second one. The first one you did fairly well. The first one we did well because you did a live video. The first one we did well because we did a live video for it.
And I had to help.
We did not know how to physically put the stuff in the needle to begin with. But I have friends that have that take insulin for diabetes and things like that. So they were very, very helpful. A lot of our CNA friends and things like that. They were very helpful going, hey, turn the bottle upside down. So if you guys don't know, turn your bottle of testosterone upside down, hold it, and pull your needle down that way. Don't try to do this.
But my biggest fear is, yes, if the needle breaks in you.
I think that's our biggest fear, period.
Yeah, that's scary.
For a lot of you guys want to know, is there pills, is there gel, is there other things? There is. The pills don't work as effectively. From what I've been reading, for most anybody that takes pills, it normally takes you anywhere from 4 to 6 months before you even start noticing the changes, such as voice deepening and hair and things like that. As for the gel becomes kind of dangerous because it's basically like lotion. It's absorbed through your skin. But say I put it on my body and I forget to wash my hands and I go touch her face, she has potential of growing hair on her face like that. So the gel it's a little tricky. Everybody's different. Everybody, like I said, everybody is different. So please reiterate that. Nobody's the same. So that's the biggest thing that we can do. Because I read and read and read, oh, okay, so this is what I'm going to expect in this one. This is what I'm going to expect in this one. And then because of me, I naturally had a higher testosterone level. For me, cycle days were only 3 days. Whereas to some, it's the full 7-day period. I will say, and some people, they say, oh, your cycle stops after month 2, after month 3. Mine is stopped immediately. As soon as I started taking testosterone, I stopped seeing menstrual cycles. So, sucks
I'm
for
all
her.
alone here.
Yeah, she is. But I know more now when she is, because I feel it. I feel the pain. I still get the phantom cramps and things like that. So those don't go away. How quickly did you notice my voice change?
Within the first month.
In the first month? A lot of people here, 2 months going on to it, I'm starting to get a lot of people saying, oh, your voice is deeper. Can't believe it. It's so surreal.
It really does start out as a cold because he was coughing more and he was always clearing out his throat more. And I always asked him, are you feeling like a tingly feeling right there? And he's like, yes. I still do.
Basically how it feels is like I've been talking all day long constantly and I won't even be speaking for the entire day. And my throat still hurts because basically what's happening is your vocal cords are trying to readjust themselves. But basically, yeah. The voice change, I will say, it does come fairly quickly and people can start noticing it. That's why we make these videos, is so you guys can get... So I don't freak some of you guys out. If you were ever to meet me on the street or meet us on the street or anything like that, you're not going, whoa, what happened? What happened? That's not how you sounded a month ago. That's not how you looked a month ago. That's not... Pictures can only speak certain things. 2 months and a lot has changed. So, yeah. That was her perspective today. A little bit of insight and some things like that. I'm glad I could catch her. We decided we're probably going to do a vlog every Sunday since that is the day that we are always together. We're both off of our jobs and everything like that. So every Sunday we'll have a vlog up and posted on YouTube. You guys can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Lady and the Trans, Lady and the symbol the trans. Please go on Instagram, send us a picture of you wearing your safety pin with the hashtag equality won't be silenced, so we know that you guys are supporting our cause and our allies and friends with us. Spread the word, let anybody know, let anybody check us out and see us. If you got some trans friends or some people that want to know some insight on some transgender issues or anything like that, or if you guys just want to send your LGBTQ friends or anything like that over our way so they can see what it's like in married land of the LGBT community. You guys can definitely send them over to our page at Lady and the Trans. Unfortunately, when we do have like the @ symbol and you do your tags and stuff, they wouldn't let me do the and symbol, so we actually do spell it out and. So if you look up that way, you have to spell it out. but there's a potential that you can find the at with the and symbol as well. So, Lady in the Trans. This was our vlog.
Did you ever tell them about the name?
I did not tell them about my name. You guys want to know about my name? All right, so my name, we picked together. I wanted to choose an in name because my birth name is an in name. And I felt like finding the same initial would make it a lot quicker and easier for a lot of people to catch themselves. And I will tell you, it has worked. Reverse psychology kind of thing. It has definitely worked. People kind of go to say my birth name. They're like, Nolen. And it's a lot quicker for them to catch on. So we came up with Nolen because for me, your name means a lot. It describes a lot about you. It represents who you are. And I wanted a name that represented my character. And Nolen was it. Nolen is a strong-willed character who suffers from a little bit of insecurity, but he's confident, he's kind, he's caring, he's heartful. He's everything that I am. So that's the reason why I chose.
Irish.
And it is Irish. It is Celtic. That's kind of, I have Irish running into me, so that kind of stuck. I changed the E-N from the A-N spelling. I'm not going to lie.
To be different.
It's different. And Glenn from The Walking Dead is one of my favorite characters. And his characteristics of a man was the kind of characteristics I wanted to be as a man. He was one of my TV idols, as you may say.
I mean, he went out with the bang.
He did go out with a bang.
Literally.
So we spelled the E-N. It came from that. And like she said, to be different, we kind of played with it a little bit. And I saw the E-N. And I was just like, Glenn. Nolen. Yeah, let's do it. So that's kind of how we came up with it. And Reed came from my grandfather. My birth name was actually named after, my first and my middle name were named after two of my grandparents, two of my grandmothers. And in order to be able to continue on the family legacy and to keep the family in my name, I decided to go with my grandfather, who I never really got to know. He passed away when I was younger. I decided to go with his middle name, which was Reed, simply because, like I said, to keep the family legacy going. And I really adored the stories that I'd hear. This gentleman was a film editor for MGM Studios back in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So that for me was our biggest thing. Laundry's done. That was our biggest thing for me, was the fact that, you know, I always wanted to do something in the entertainment business. So to see that I actually had a grandfather that had that legacy behind him as well, that was a very important thing for me. So I wanted to keep something memorable, and Reed was just perfect. I asked my mom, too, what she would have named me if I were to be a boy.
And it's so crazy because he was supposed to be a boy. The doctor told.
My mom was told multiple times that I was supposed to be a boy. I don't know what happened. Somewhere along the line, it did. That damn X chromosome came in somewhere down the line and just snuck up on us. It was like, boom. But, yeah. So that's the reason why we came up with the name. For those of you who are a little curious behind it, I want to kind of give you guys some education. I know you guys have been kind of questioning, where'd you get your name, this and that. So ultimately, that's where it came from. But thank you guys again so much. Again, let your family know, let your friends know, let anybody know that's curious. Lady in the Trans, Facebook, Instagram. We don't have a Twitter right now. We're kind of not really cool with Twitter. I don't really understand Twitter, so
we're trying to.
We're slowly getting there. As we get more followers, we kind of upgrade ourselves a little bit more. But again, hashtag quality won't be silenced with your safety pin to show us that you are following our movement, that you are going to take a stand